Alright, welcome back, folks. I have no idea if anyone's ever going to watch this, but yeah. Alright, so we're doing this whole thing where we make a deck with every single legendary creature in Streets of Capenna. Today it's Jaxis the Troublemaker. And she's well named because I hate this card. I hate this deck. I'm doing this stream close to midnight. Mostly because I don't want to... I'm also going to be eating popsicles during it, so people are just going to have to deal with that. That's okay. Nobody watches my streams. I hate this card. I hate this deck. It's just a miserable, awful, useless card. It falls into the third category of commanders. Category 1 is cards you think are good. I guess there's 4 categories. Cards you think are going to be good and are good. Cards you think are going to be bad and are good. Cards you think are going to be bad and are bad. And then there's this, which is cards you think are going to be good and are bad. This card's terrible. I have made like 3 versions of this deck. They all suck. Jaxis is just a terrible commander to the extent that I actually went and wrote an entire rant about how much I hate trying to build around this card in this format. But let's just jump into some games. This is not going to be a long stream because I hate playing this card again, which means it's not going to be great content. And we're going to end the stream when I finish my daily quest to have enough attacks. Alright, so first matchup is Vorniclex. I'm going to eat this popsicle for a moment. I'm actually going to keep this. Let's talk about why Jaxis is terrible while we're here. Because there's a couple of reasons. Reason 1. Mono red. The ability to copy stuff is neat, but generally speaking, big enter the battlefield triggers or leave the battlefield triggers are not on mono red cards. Because Jaxis is mono red, that means we can only actually use other mono red cards, which means our pool of ETB cards is much smaller than it might otherwise be, which is annoying as sin. Also, it looks like he's going to have a combat trick. Yep, called it. Which brings us to the second issue with this card. It's overcosted. It costs like 1 billion mana. And by 1 billion, I mean 4, but that's basically 1 billion mana. And finally, it's just a worse version of Kiki-Jiki the Mirror Breaker. It doesn't have built-in Blitz. Let's go talk about Blitz. Blitz is terrible on commanders. Perfectly fine for other stuff. Terrible ability on commanders. And the end result of all this is that I hate this card, I hate playing it, and as you can see during this current game, I seem to just be absolutely throwing. I'm just going to put you into play now. Surprisingly enough, I think an earlier version of this deck that I deleted was actually slightly better than this current one. But, you know what? Who cares? Me. I care. Oh, and while we're talking about her ability being useless, let's just take a moment to acknowledge that you can only use it as a sorcery. So this can never be used as a defensive ability. It's purely an offensive ability. There's no way to use it to create stuff to block with. It's only an attack. No defend, only attack. Of course he gets Great Henge. Oh, and, you know, her ability also costs mana, so good luck actually taking advantage of it as a effective trigger, because you can't. Go fuck yourself. That's pretty much game, no matter what I do. So I'm blowing up Great Henge purely out of spite. I should cut Inferno at the star mount. It's actually kind of awful in this line. I don't care though. I'm just gonna play until I'm free from this awful card. And like, to be clear, I'm sure this card is perfectly fine in other formats, and even in this format, just not as a commander, and not in a monocolor deck. Put it in an Omnath deck and copy some of the other elementals, copy Skittering Sorcerer, like, very cool combo piece, can be used to do neat stuff. It's a red, make a copy of target token creature, attack at the end of the turn, but everything about it as a commander just sucks. You know what's funny is that this is the sort of like, all right, so I need 15 more. I'm gonna end this stream when I finish that quest. When I get 15, I just need to attack 15 more times, and then I'm free. This is the sort of like random rant that I would frankly assume that other people would be like faking, if I'm gonna be honest. This isn't fake. I just hate this card so much. Like, so incredibly much. Guardian Idol or Mind Stone. We'll have a 4-drop. The fact that I'm still like, oh, I should play Delina instead of... do we need... No, we don't. Was that even his commander? No, it wasn't. Maybe I should have thrown Tormenting Voice, but whatever. Even Delina Wild Mage is a better card than this. Stomp. Go away. Tormenting Voice. Even this is better. Interesting that it's basically the same stat line. I actually just noticed that. I guess it's the same stat line, but flipped. Helm of the Host would be a better commander. It's not even a creature, it's an artifact. Fuck you. Oh hey, that's got Delirium. Do I even want to do that? Yes, I do, because I can play more creatures if I do this. Cascade. +1/+1 in haste, huh? Or play a 4/3. One more land and we have an escapable blaze. I don't know. It's a card that is in monocolor intended to be an offensive card, but by the time you're actually able to play it to use its ability, it's either too early into the game or it's too late into the game. What does this do? Whenever you sack a creature, return target creature with lesser mana once per turn. Okay, that's actually not a huge problem yet. He has 4 to buy with. Like, compared to Ognis, multiple colors, haste, creates tokens, like, on a delay, but at least creates them. There's Cascade. Is Cascade when you cast? I'll reconfigure over to the Grim Initiate. Oh, and you have to still you have to discard cards to use this ability. Basically, it's make shitty blitzed copies of your cards. Like, okay, maybe if you build a deck based around flashback, that's useful. This deck is not based around flashback. I think Cascade is on. And look, it dies to removal because it's a terrible card. I'm going to, at this rate, I'm going to win. What is this? Sacrifice it. Control wolf or werewolf, scry 2. No blocks. You can't play Croxa, and don't I get that? I hate Obnixilis, fucking garbage piece of shit. Here's another card that's better because it's monocolor. I don't even give a shit. Blitz. Let's find out if Cascade is on play or not. It is. Oh, I think that technically decreases the number of whatever. I don't even care. It's like, hey, let's make a card that has to come into play and spend 5 mana to do its ability. And if it doesn't do that, then it effectively can't do anything. Let's see. Yep, command zone. Huh. If I top deck a land, I might actually still be able to win this. No, I won't. He'll be able to heal up a whole bunch. Decline. Actually, can I kill him before he heals? This is an interesting question. I can hit him for 8, which is what some people have called not lethal. Even if I blitz Jaxis in, that's not enough. Next turn, what am I going to take? Literally does not matter. Bro, you have no triggers. Just let me do my stupid combat step. Three damage off lethal. You have lethal. If you can't count, I'm not legally obligated to play out the rest of the turn. I hate this deck. This is the worst content, unless somebody wants... Okay, we just need 3 more attacks and then we're free. This will be the shortest stream. Right now it's 18 minutes in. But that's good because it's just slightly past midnight. And I kind of need to go to bed, but I also kind of took a 4-hour nap. I'm not very sleepy. Oh good, it's Jetmare. Sure, you know what? Keep. That's bad for me. Riot, Trample, Lifelink, Haste, 5/5. Cool. Trample, Lifelink, Haste. Lovely. Creature you control of Haste. Rabbit Battery. It's not even like this is a particularly aggressive Jetmare deck. Like, but the fact that he has that just means that I basically just lose. Alright. Actually... Does he have lethal? Krenko will make a lot of copies. That's double strike. Yeah, that's game. Terrible, Commander. But are we free? Nope. Oh, good. He's going to have an endless supply of 2/2s. And I'm going to have an endless supply of misery. Red just doesn't have a lot of good death or ETB triggers. It'd also be cool if I got to go first ever, but you know. Why bother? Why bother? There are very few things that can make me rage quite as much as... Wow, he's already going to have 4 mana. You cast... Oh, this is Zombie Tribal. His deck's actually kind of neat. Surtland Flinger. This is the other issue with Jaxis, is that even if I play it quickly, right, it gets removed just as quickly. Even if I do play it quickly, it can only copy other things that are, you know, already kind of there, right? Let's make a mistake. Can only copy a 4-drop. You should have used the tower to upgrade Warlock, dude, instead of... Like, look at this. This is a matchup where he's stuck on 2 mana and his commander, but it's still doing more than what I have access to. Let's get rid of... Woody Roastmaster. That doesn't happen to be an artifact, does it? Let's do Ironcrag Pyromancer, actually. I'm going to get rid of you. I'm actually going to get rid of Diagraph Colossus. Maybe I should have done Jitter. Now, if he's smart, he'll just do Warlock into classes. Okay. Now you're going to sacrifice the zombie to go try to dig for land, right, buddy? Or not. That's fine. Goblin Chain Whirler. Ogrehead Helm. Literally no reason to not attack because you can't block. Might just try to play as much stuff as possible next turn, and then... Really? I'm just not going to draw more cards then, mate. Let's do Krenko this turn. Then we'll make a copy of the highest damage thing I have on the board right now is Goblin Chain Whirler. We'll discard Reckless Stormseeker. And then we'll play the Goldhound. We'll attack with everybody. Decline. Maybe he has Bantu's whatever. That would turn the game. But is it Bantu's last stand? I would have done that a little bit earlier if I were them, but oof. Okay. Freedom and a victory with this terrible, terrible deck. If for some reason you, I don't know, presumably you want to point and laugh, the deck list is in the video description. I'm going to be calling it a night here because I'm so done playing this deck. I'm going to turn off the stream. I want to go play Alchemy and eat more popsicles and rage, and then potentially do some writing because I took a 4-hour nap earlier. And just because it's midnight doesn't mean that I actually feel like sleeping right now. So thank you for stopping by, and take care. And we only have 4 cards left before we finish out the series.